What is going on, you guys? My name is Rage, and we are back today with another Dark Dimension 5 overview and playthrough video for you all. In today's video, we're going to be walking through the next stage here of being the legendary nodes, being that last section of Dark Dimension 5. So I'll show you guys high level my 5 characters, as well as dive into the gameplay. Starting things off, easily, hands down, the best legendary in the game right now, Morgan Le Fay. You guys have a chance to bring her in. The fact that she has so much capabilities, her time warp is so powerful, and all of her attacks scaling with the health percentage. This is extremely powerful in Dark Dimension, especially with these enemies that we are up against, having the higher health pools. Omega Red, very similar to Morgan Le Fay in the sense that, you know, his attacks do scale HP, but the fact that he has 2 ability blocks and trauma makes him a very powerful character to add that crowd controlling aspect, and as well as him being a very powerful and tanky character overall. We also have Shuri here, being part of that key sustain, right? Her special is nothing to joke over, applying defense up, granting energy for our fellow allies, and especially the rework to Wakandans. There's definitely been a lot more love with Shuri being that legendary healer. As you can see, I personally recommend this skirmisher that we can add vulnerability as well. It's going to add that aspect of being able to, leverage the strikers that we have on our team. We have Rogue here, being the newest legendary in the game, and she's been amazing to try this out, because I was actually waiting on bringing up Phoenix to Gear 16, but with the Rogue release in the Famine Scourge event, just having her has been so nice because of her crowd controlling, her gloves off special that can start things off, and all these negative conditions that will just stick, and as well as her having a handy stun is just that extra aspect of crowd controlling combined with Omega Red, making short work of these nodes. Last but not least, guys, highly recommend Jubilee. I know she's kind of fallen out of place given her team and the raids meta, but still remains the mutant teams is the only viable raid team right now that we know of in combination with the other powerful mutants in the game. But she has a blind, she's got a stun, and the fact that naturally she can have assisted attacks and so forth, and as well when enemies go down with the turn meter, she's going to get that back as an increase to her speed. So there you guys have it. Those are the 5. Now let's dive right into the gameplay.
The last and final node of Dark Dimension 5. And now what makes this interesting node is that we're actually going to be up against all of the previous Dark Dimension characters. So that's going to be, Ultron, Doctor Doom, Ultimus. So it is cool. It's a nice little throwback, and as well as Dormammu. It's a nice little throwback to all the Dark Dimensions. But right from the get-go, I'm glad that we have a team of crowd controlling, because you can see right away we ability block both Ultron as well as Doctor Doom, because those are the key ones we want to be able to control. Ultimus is quite a bit slower, so if you're able to blind him, it'd be good, but fortunately I don't think he's going to be a problem too much in this node. But again, guys, the key thing is controlling Doctor Doom, because him using his ultimate is going to give him the speed bar, and as well it's a very powerful ultimate ability. And due to how powerful our synergy is of this team, I go ahead use Rogue to actually use her devastating special on Ultron to slow him down, because we really do not want him summoning the clones. That can be an X factor here, stunning everybody else, and then ability blocking Doctor Doom, and then you should be in a good spot. Having Omega Red and Morgan Le Fay, key target, really focusing in on Doctor Doom, because especially when he gets past that 50% threshold, he's going to get ability energy, and as you can see, that's why it's already gotten to his turn. The ability blocks removed, but we're going to take this time now to finish him off. And then once he's taken care of, guys, you're in a pretty good spot in terms of just finishing up whoever's weaker, because we can actually go ahead and clean up this wave. But yeah, the next up would be personally Ultron, just due to the fact that he can summon clones that can actually heal up and provide some speed boosts. He's a pretty dangerous enemy to keep alive for sure. And then I would just focus on keeping maybe Ronan as well as Ultimus being at the very end here. Fast forwarding here just to save you guys a bit of time, but yeah, should be in a good spot here. Make sure you're using basic attacks leading up to the next wave spawn here, just because we want to save up energy. And then again, now the pain points is going to be kind of keeping in mind these supportive characters. So Invisible Woman to the top left there that can actually cleanse. We got Phoenix that can also cleanse, and then Falcon providing speed up. So those are the key targets that we want to control. And we do see we're up against that Blob Toad synergy, so they could be pretty powerful as well. But you're going to see that first things up, we're just going to start controlling everyone using the ability blocks, the stuns, and making sure that everything is correctly controlled here. And again, similar to my previous notes, whenever you do have Shuri, I absolutely love her capabilities, her defense up, the energy that she grants for the team, and her sustainability. If you guys can bring her on, she is costly as a legendary character, but because of the reworks to the Wakandan team, she's definitely been a welcome addition, especially now the value that she can provide in the Dark Dimension nodes here. So at this point, guys, yeah, as you can see, everybody that we need to ability block or control or stun, it has been done so. So now we can just focus on actually targeting key enemies, but I would focus on more of the squishier enemies, being Falcon, taking down Invisible Woman, the Cleanser, and that way we can actually start finishing up and cleaning up this wave here once those key targets are taken care of. And I definitely would encourage leaving Phoenix maybe for closer to the end, just because we just don't want Dark Phoenix spawning, and Dark Phoenix does have some more stronger abilities than the regular one. So at this point, yeah, like I said, it should be these enemies that can be left for the end. And again, if you can save their abilities, ability block them, you're not gonna have issues. Morgan Le Fay is one of the characters where if you just keep using your abilities, I wouldn't save any of them unless it's down to the last 2 or 3 enemies, because her abilities just make such a notable difference in controlling everyone. And when we leave Dark Phoenix for the very end, you can see she's extremely squishy, so blind her if you can, but we should have most of our abilities. And now it's 25 out of 37 enemies in this next wave. We're up against a Doctor Doom once again, so that's why it's going to be so critical to have characters like Morgan Le Fay, Omega Red, as well as Rogue, being able to have that supportive capability to actually ability block and easily spreading all these negatives. So as you can see, we're just doing the same thing now. We're just trying to control the situation, applying the ability blocks where needed. Another good one is actually controlling Captain Marvel as well, just because she can do a lot of damage initially when she gets into her transform state. So again, now that we're inflicting all the conditions, the key thing here once again is actually just focusing our damage. The first one that needs to go is Doctor Doom, just because of the fact that, again, he has that very powerful ultimate ability. And we rewind here with Morgan Le Fay to get that back with the ability block, and then resume doing damage here. And again, as shown, a great way to finish off Doctor Doom is using Jubilee Special, because that way, when he falls with all those conditions, it just gets reapplied to every enemy. And as you can see, this wave just becomes almost nothing to us with all these negative conditions. I would just strongly encourage you guys taking down damage dealers, maybe Captain Marvel, supportive characters like Falcon, getting them out of the way, but shouldn't have any issues here in this wave, guys, so as long as you're using the abilities, the blind, stun, ability block. And again, similar strategies before. Once it's down to the last 2 or 3 enemies, save up energy with basic attacks in preparation for the next wave. Here we go, as you can see, just saving up here, slowly but surely. And wow, it's just pretty phenomenal how amazing these nodes can run when you have a beautiful crowd controlling of all these different characters. It really does make short work and how fast these waves can go. Ronan's a good one because he can summon clones and allows you to get more basic attacks. Now in this next wave here, we're actually up against 2 Ultrons as well as Phoenix and another Captain Marvel. So similar story as the previous waves, guys. We're just going to go ahead and start our sequence here of stunning, applying ability block, and making sure all of them are controlled, so that way going forward we're not going to have issues. I actually resumed to use my special dare action on Phoenix, so that way it prevents her from doing anything, especially cleansing. And then again, another key recommendation, ability blocking Ultron, just because we don't want them summoning the clones and getting any kind of advantage against us. And that would include the stun and the ability block. Go ahead, finish Ultron number 1, and as you can see, one of the Captain Marvels is taken care of, as well as Falcon. So I think this is a good combination to leave here at the very end, but again, focus on the Ultron. We do want Dark Phoenix again at the very end, because she's just easier to deal with by herself. She's squishy, and as well, just that way her abilities don't go against us, because especially she has a pretty powerful special and ultimate, and by isolating her, it gives us a chance to really just focus on basic attacks. There we go. And again, every time you get Shuri, make sure you're using your special, because it's going to keep our defenses up. Second last wave, guys. So we get actually a combination of the Fantastic Four here mixed in with Doctor Doom. So yeah, tons and tons of Doctor Dooms. And that's why I feel like Morgan Le Fay is definitely the MVP for this node, especially since her ability, her ultimate immediately targets Doctor Doom, regardless if he's invis and whatnot, and applying that heal block is just going to give us that advantage. So again, guys, making short work of this node once again. We're just making sure that everybody's controlled, stunned, ability blocked in some way, shape, or form. and then I would just start taking down enemies that are weaker, but as well, again, any chance you get to blind, so forth. That's why I love about having Jubilee as well. She's got that handy blind as her basic, but also a handy stun and the opportunity to spread more negatives. But I would focus on, once you get a chance to actually attack Dr. Doom, that'll be the goal. But otherwise, finish up everybody else. If you can't actually target him just yet because of the way that this node was designed, he starts off invisible. And another key cleanser too, right? Like Invisible Woman has to go as well, just because we just don't want her existing here in order to cleanse. Now, what's interesting about this node is make sure you guys do target Invisible Woman before the next wave does spawn, because this cluster here that does come out actually at I believe 8 or 9 enemies remaining. It does actually get added up to this wave, so it's a little bit early, but just keep that in mind. That's why it's important to actually ability block Dr. Doom. But otherwise, not an issue. We can still use our abilities, same thing. And what's also interesting about this wave is that the Dr. Doom clones actually just use the specials continually. So something to be mindful of. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but you'll see every time they get a turn, even if they're ability blocked, they can actually use that as an ability to do some damage to us. And then once you take down Torch, another 2 enemies actually spawn. So yeah, just an interesting wave mechanic of this one, where multiple guys just joined. But as you can see, there's the clone there with the special. Doesn't do a lot of damage, like I said, but that's why it's, it could be frustrating if we don't have allies to actually strip away the positive buffs, because having a taunt on the thing prevents us from actually attacking Dr. Doom, and we definitely don't want him healing, right? But thankfully, Morgan Le Fay's ultimate will target him even if she's not aimed at him. So we'll go ahead and continue our work here, taking down the thing and then focusing on the rest here. Thing goes down, as well as one of the Dr. Doom clones. 5 out of 37 enemies left, and we do see another 2 Fantastic Four guys joining here. So yeah, ironically enough, it's just funny how this wave is. But as you guys can see, unfortunately, Jubilee did go down. So her being more squishier than the rest, we finally lose our comrade here in this difficult node, in the sense that these guys are just constantly going and going. But now we finally get a chance to get out of that taunt here and to focus and do some damage here. And again, guys, we really don't want Dr. Doom to use his ultimate, so we'll go ahead and resume our damage on him. Yeah, interestingly enough, enough of those clones are actually going to build up, and as you guys can see, another one of my allies did go down, but that's quite alright, because that's the final of the wave with Dr. Doom going down. And there you guys have it. There you go. Pretty straightforward in my honest opinion. This wave management is really crucial for this last node, but these legendary nodes are definitely the easiest I've seen in Dark Dimension 5. So as long as you guys have a good team, and this is, yeah, the rewards, finally getting Dormammu, all this teal gear that's gonna get added now to our inventory. And then start resuming here on the next run, which is huge. But yeah, it's definitely a beautiful reward for us to actually get all this. And again, definitely been quite a journey, especially again, guys, if you've been following my videos, 100% free to play. But the Cosmic Crucible definitely helped a lot with just getting the gear back in the arsenal here. And I also want to show you guys just a quick unlock here of Dormammu. Definitely I'll be making a video in terms of reviewing his kit overall, T4 recommendations, so forth. But yeah, it's nice to finally finish up the rest of the roster now, getting Dormammu added here. And yeah, just a welcoming addition here. Yeah, and just to show you guys for context as well, I always like to go back in my history here just to show you guys on, as well as just tracking for future progression in videos of the achievements, right? 100% free to play achievements, number of days actually taking to unlock Dormammu is 929 days. So again, I've been playing the game for 2 to 3 years, but it's just nice to see that even as free to play, it is accessible. Just gotta make sure you're very smart with managing your gear. I hope this video has helped you guys. Thank you as always. Good luck in your progression, and I'll see you guys in the next one.